So anyone that knows anything about YouTube probably knows the name MrBeast. And if you've been following the news, you would know that his empire is quite literally crumbling down right now. But I feel like the reason why is pretty obvious, and I don't feel like a lot of people are talking about it. I don't think it's the essay allegations. I don't think it's the sins of his friends. And I don't think it's all of the claims about the Amazon show. I really feel like it comes down to What's up, guys? I'm ready to get into this MrBeast conversation because I hear a lot of different things about what people are saying has been going on behind closed doors. And I mean, we all know that what's done in the dark will come to light. But I feel like there's something a little bit more that's going on. Whether that stuff is true or not, I don't really know. It's not really for me to decide, but here's what I do know. I've always been really inspired by MrBeast's story. I love a good origin story. I like to hear like how people got started, where they came from. And I'm not gonna lie, am I the only one that thought MrBeast was gonna be like not Jimmy? Like, I really thought this dude was gonna be like, I don't know, some big guy tatted up and like I don't know what I thought, but I did not expect, hey, I'm Jimmy. Like, I did not expect that from Mr. Beast. But I love looking back and hearing his story of how he got started. I know a lot of people are talking about how he actually grew up Christian and went to a Christian school and had strong Christian values. And in recent interviews, he's actually claimed that like he's not a Christian. He's more agnostic than anything. But looking at the beginning of his journey and like the first real video that kind of popped off, it was a video of MrBeast simply giving away money. That's something that has made him famous. He's been famous for his philanthropy. He's been famous for giving away money and being generous and generosity. And that is what I believe attracted people to him. Because they knew, man, if I go to the right store at the right time, that I might run into Jimmy and he might be out here giving away $1,000. But at the end of the day, he built the foundation of his brand on generosity. And honestly, I really think it comes down to the principle of sowing and reaping. When I was about 12 years old, I remember planting like one of my first ever plants. And let me tell you, I do not have a green thumb. That is not me. Like, low key, I did not know you could kill succulents, but those bad boys die. But I remember getting these green pepper seeds and I was so excited about this, and I went outside and planted this seed and I was doing all the things. I was watering it. I was really doing my best. And lo and behold, that plant sprouted and I got me some green peppers. Your boy was so excited about getting some green peppers. But here's the thing that I find so interesting when it comes to planting and sowing seeds. When you sow a seed, you sow one seed. Put that bad boy in the ground, and when you take care of it, when you take care of that seed, when it's watered properly and has the right environment to grow, not only will it produce one seed, it produces a vegetable or a fruit with multiple seeds, or either it produces a tree and that tree produces multiple fruits that have multiple seeds. So the point I'm trying to make is whatever you sow, you will reap plentiful. And go with me for a second, because I'm not really just talking about money. Yes, that's where MrBeast started, but I think it's so much bigger than that. What you sow is what you reap. Regardless of what kind of seed you sow, what you sow is what you reap. MrBeast started off sowing financial seeds and he started to see his finances grow. And you don't have to be a Christian to believe this. We see it in everyday life. You plant an apple seed, you're going to get apples. You plant a watermelon seed, you're going to get watermelon. That's just how it works. But because we're spirit beings, we can sow things in the spirit. So if you sow peace, you'll get more peace. If you sow joy, you'll get more joy. And that's why I always encourage people, when you don't feel like you have it in you to love people or to walk in joy or walk in peace, that's the best time to sow some love. When you are in need, I always encourage people to sow what you need. But Dallas, that sounds ridiculous. Yeah, it does, but that's the principle of sowing and reaping. So if we look in the Bible, in Galatians chapter 6, verse 7, it says, God will not be mocked. Whatever a man soweth, he will reap. Whatever you sow, you reap. So not only is it on the positive side of things, but also the negatives. So if I can go there for a second, people are always wondering how they end up in toxic relationships or why their friends are always doing them wrong. I would challenge you to ask yourself, what is it that you have been sowing? Have you been sowing seeds of toxicity? Have you been sowing seeds of bad character? Have you been sowing seeds of impatience? Have you been sowing seeds of bitterness? Have you been sowing seeds of unforgiveness? Because what you sow, you will receive. So let's take it back to Mr. Beast again. We see that he built his empire on sowing financial seeds. That's where it all started. And as it continued to grow and as it continued to build, I think Mr. Beast shifted in what he started to sow. If we look at some of his recent interviews and what people are saying about him, I believe his heart has shifted and his heart has changed. Because here's the thing, your intention behind what you're sowing matters, because if your intentions are right, then you're making sure that you're taking care of what you're sowing. You're making sure that you're taking care of that seed and watering it and making sure it gets its sunlight and making sure it gets all the things that it needs, just like in the spirit realm. So if I know I need to sow some forgiveness because I know I need some forgiveness in my life, then I'm going to nurture that forgiveness, and it's not going to be something that I just do just so that I can get it. Your intention matters, and I believe the intention behind Mr. Beast's attitude and mindset and what he has been sowing has shifted. We see that in the people that have been saying he hadn't really been living up to his word on everything. We see that in his recent interviews when he has shifted and says things like, well, I don't know if there's a God. And there are even some on this latest project that he's been working with Amazon that are saying that he has shifted into a deity mindset and actually having people look to him or call him God, even if it's in a joking way. Just like that verse says in Galatians, God will not be mocked. You sow some foolishness, you're going to start to get some foolishness. And so that's why I believe we're seeing this empire of Mr. Beast starting to crumble. So here's what I want to encourage you with today. I want you to be aware of what you are sowing, because what you sow with the intention behind it, that is what you will reap. So make sure you're sowing some good things. But hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Check out the Bible for yourself. That's how I see it. That's how I interpret it. Regardless, we've got to continue to do life together. Just keep in mind that you are not alone. Let's just keep doing this thing together. Keep following Jesus together. And let's go out here and normalize making disciples.